Indeed, we are. It is Motivational Monday, and our special guest today, Dr. Luke, is a medical doctor and also author of this book called Lose Weight and Keep It Off. And earlier this morning, we spoke about the fact that losing weight and being thin is something that was brought on by society, and it's not actually a factor of life as such. We spoke about the fact that diet, as you said, is unsustainable, or what we commonly know as diet. Let's just recap that for those that have just tuned in now.
Right. Life is about happiness, not about how thin you can be, as a recap. And also, if you want to be serious about losing your weight, you must do something that is sustainable.
Yes.
And very few, if any, diets are sustainable, because a diet is about deprivation, whereas food is actually about providing.
Yeah. Now, you say that we should actually listen to our bodies, and this is something you also mention in your book, because there's a statistic that says 35% of what we feel we should eat is initiated by hunger, right?
Correct. And actually, when I did the research for this book, I was very surprised myself to read that in the scientific literature, that 35%, 1 in 3 of our eating sessions are initiated by hunger, and the other 2 out of 3 are initiated by other things, like a colleague brought some birthday cake, or there is some food lying around, or you're sitting in a movie and digging into that big popcorn box.
Yeah.
And that provides you with a lot of calories that is not even necessary, because your body was not even hungry. So you don't actually need those calories. If you just listen to your body, you're going to get a long way in weight control.
But it sounds very easy when you say it, but how does one go about listening to your body? How do you do it?
Well, it's gradual awareness. It's not like you have never done it, now you're going to start and going to do it for the rest of your life. It's like trying to kick a soccer ball. You're going to learn and progress and get better. The same thing with listening to your body. If you, for example, have eaten a whole main course and you feel full afterwards, think, do I actually really want a dessert? I said, no. I'll leave it. If you look at the menu and you say, this looks like a nice dessert, I'm going to have the dessert, have your dessert. Yeah. But cut down on your main course or just have one starter.
Yeah. So gradual, just progression and listening to your body, as you say. Now, you say in your book as well that obese people are malnourished, and I think which is what most people would think is quite the opposite. They've got all the nourishment because they tend to eat quite a lot.
Correct. They eat too much, obviously. But what happens is if you eat refined food or processed food, all the nutrients are taken out of it. And macronutrients get a lot of press: protein, fats, and carbohydrates. We speak about them non-stop. But in food is also something else very important, and those are micronutrients: vitamins, minerals, and trace elements. Now, refined and processed food doesn't have anything of that anymore. And your body is going to start missing them because you don't provide it with micronutrients, so you're going to start craving them. And where does the body normally find micronutrients? In food. So your body starts craving food. So you get more and more hungry, you crave the food, you eat it, but if it's more of that processed and refined stuff, you're just loading your body up on the macronutrients with calories without micronutrients. So you're sitting in a vicious circle. Yeah. So if you have your basic things, like 5 fruit and vegetables, I'm going to make it very simple, like 1 fruit and 4 vegetables, or 2 fruit and 3 vegetables, doesn't matter, 5 of that group. Yeah. You provide your body with all the micronutrients that you need. It's a bit too simplified, but this is the basics. Yeah. And that will help to bring your weight down. If you don't have micronutrients, you can't burn your fat. Okay. Like macronutrients is like motor oil for your car.
Like motor oil for your car, which drives the body, yeah.
You drive your car without motor oil, you're not going to get very far. Yeah. The same thing with macronutrients.
Yeah. Now, even with the healthy stuff, like you mentioned now, the 5 fruits and vegetables that you do get every day, it is important to keep it in moderation. Your portions that you eat is important, right?
Definitely. If you eat 50 apples per day, you're still going to get overweight because you eat too many calories.
So you're saying I must cut down on my 5 bananas?
No, that's fine.
Sorry, do tell.
Okay. I've got one very simple approach. Is your meal should actually fit into your cupped hands. You can't have it more basic than that. If you eat more and it doesn't fit in there, you're eating too much.
And we're talking about these hands and not those hands.
Correct. Right. And you also can't use your forearms to hold it all. Just, this must fit in there. Yeah. Very simple.
Now, you've got a very interesting story that you tell about fat mice and thin mice. Tell me about that.
It actually is an interesting story. The study was done on mice that were all thin. And the mice got the same type of food and the same amount of food. Yet after 3 months, a few mice that remained slim and the other mice became fat. Now, the mice that remained slim received their food at regular intervals, like at mealtime. Yes. So when the food arrived, they ate. When they had enough, they stopped eating. Now, the mice that received the food at irregular intervals, sometimes 3 times per day, sometimes once per day, sometimes nothing, for days on end. Okay. Every single time that food came around, they ate like if their life depended on it. And their life did depend on it, because if the food only came in 4 days and they didn't stock up now, they would be dead by the next food session. Oh, wow. So over the whole 3-month period, the mice that received food at irregular intervals ate far more than the mice that received food at regular intervals. So the lesson to learn for human beings is routine is a treatment in itself. Have 3 meals per day at regular intervals. If you're hungry in between the meals, have a snack. And a snack is a snack that should fill up your stomach. Like this is
like
about 80 or 90 calories. Whereas this is about 10 to 12 calories. So 6 of this is the same as that. This will fill up your stomach. This won't even say hello.
Wow, okay.
And I'll give you another example. Everybody knows this. This is the same amount of calories.
Can you believe it? Oh, my word. Okay, well, Doc, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate having you on this Motivational Monday, motivating us to lose the weight and keep it off, and I hope that you learned a bit from that. And, of course, if you have any other questions, ask them on our Facebook, and the good doctor will oblige us in answering them. Now, today, we're making tuna cakes in our kitchen, but before we do that, let's go over to our Smart Shopper here.
Stay with Espresso and SABC3.